As we discover and pursue our passion, we may not realize we draw the very best out of others. Starting out as a passion for fitness turned into locally training others for the Special Olympics. We welcome Alexander Corrente. Thank you so much for joining us here at the studio today. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So let's start from the very beginning. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I was born in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and I've had the opportunity to move all around the country and experience a lot of things growing up. My little brother was born with microcephaly, special needs, which was an underdeveloped cranium, which led to his motor skills not being as developed, his verbal skills not being as developed. And because of that, hence why I'm here to discuss the Special Olympics, it's been a huge impact on my life from the very beginning.
So how did it all start then?
My brother always was my biggest supporter, with my mom and dad, of course, but always at all my events, academic, athletic, it didn't matter. He was always there cheering me on. So we moved to Pittsburgh, and they started getting him enrolled in the Special Olympics locally. And for me, it was like, oh, cool, I now can go support him. I haven't had the opportunity to really do that, so, you know, return the favor almost. Started going, and he was having the time of his life. I was really enjoying myself. And then all of a sudden, I can't remember exactly what the events were. I can't remember the date even, but I remember just someone coming up to me and going, hey, Alex, we need a volunteer. I'm like, sure, would love to get involved. And it had just evolved from there. And I've been involved with it now for 8 years.
So in those 8 years, can you describe an experience that you've had that had stuck with you, something that maybe was very memorable?
One of my most treasured memories was about 2 years ago, and I was coaching baseball. I've coached a lot of different events, but baseball was the one that I was the most involved with. And the best part about that was it was the simple stuff. Those kids were phenomenal athletes. They were hammering home runs, making great catches, having the time of their life. My best memory was my buddy Taylor. He always would hit singles, and I remember he hit one right at me, and I had to just like fall backwards out of the matrix and just dodge it. And everyone just started having a blast. They started laughing. Taylor chuffs to first, and he's standing there laughing. He's having the time of his life. And really, I could try and describe, you know, the most emotional experiences for me, but it was that sense of accomplishment that they had, that they were able to accomplish something simple, but to them, it was so meaningful. And that's what I loved about it. I was able to not give them that experience, but be there for it and help them along the way to get it.
And on that note, what other importance does this bring to people who are qualified for the Special Olympics and to get involved even on a local level?
The Special Olympics slogan is, let me win, but if I fail, let me be brave in the attempt. The sad truth of the matter is people with mental and physical handicaps come from lives filled with adversity. It's very difficult. And I would like to paint this rose picture that they all have beautiful lives, but a lot of them come from group homes. A lot of them are underfed, they're poorly clothed. This gives them an opportunity to be brave and shine. And I have worked with some of the most incredible people with handicaps and without. My experience, there's been people doing it for 8 years, has been so meaningful. There's been people doing this for 30 years coaching, and have the most giving hearts you can imagine. And these kids and adults, it ranges from very young to, I've worked with 60-year-olds with handicaps. The amount of bravery and courage they bring to the events is inspiring. I would say that I do this unconditionally. It's very conditional for me. I love it. I have the time of my life doing it, and being able to see these people succeed, it's so empowering.
And bringing it back to more of a personal experience, especially with your brother, can you describe a moment that you've had with him that was really empowering?
One of my favorite moments with him is we were doing Special Olympics bowling, and my little brother, his name is Nick, is very outgoing, but in a big group setting, he can be a little reserved until he gets very comfortable. So we're going up bowling, and there's a lot of kids he knows there from school and volunteers that he knows, and he goes up and he is about to throw the ball down the lane, and he gets a strike. And he just turns around and he double flexes. He like goes, yeah, like really excited. And my whole family's there. We jump up, we start clapping. Everyone's giving him high fives. And he's just looked so happy. And then he takes a seat and he's just got this big ear to ear smile. I thought his head was gonna snap in half. He was smiling so hard. And it's just that stuff with him, it makes me so happy to see.
And so what would you wish for the future of not just the Special Olympics, but on like a personal level like you have, starting up at the homes? Do you think that people like that, like your brother, are often misunderstood?
Absolutely. Anything in life that people don't understand can be intimidating. They can shun it, they can ignore it, and unfortunately, some people do bully people with handicaps because they don't know any better. And I'm not defending them, but it comes from a place of ignorance. The Special Olympics has done so much for me, and outside even the Special Olympics, any local organization that does deal with handicaps, I would say for us who are blessed with not having a handicap like that, where we can lead a normal life per se, go educate yourself. Help out just a little bit. Give a little bit of yourself, and you will realize how empowering it is to see these individuals that have all the excuses in the world. They could give up, they could complain, they could moan and just say, oh, why, woe is me. They don't care. They're out making a difference in their own lives, in the lives of their friends, and they've made a huge difference in my life.
So what would you say is maybe the most important lesson someone could take away from your experience?
Oh man, most important from my experience in the Special Olympics, I would say again, it's the education of it, broadening yourself as a human being, and being able to understand how to give of yourself, I think is something extremely important. But really what it came down for me was, I love doing this. I've had a passion for doing this. It started with my little brother, just me going to support him, and it turned into me making some unbelievable memories that I will never lose, and I will always cherish.
What do you define as success, especially based on your experience?
My definition of success kind of matches that motto. I'm going to give 100% of what I can do. If I fail, I failed. But I gave 100%, and I know I did that, and I'll be able to look myself in the mirror at the end of the day and be like, you gave it your best shot, and I couldn't care less what the perception is of me then. I don't care if someone would look at me and call me a failure. I gave it my best shot, and that's something these kids help me realize. They will go to the free throw line and miss. They will go to home plate, they will strike out. They will miss a penalty kick in soccer. They will race swimming and come in last place. They will, any event that you can think of, they can fail. They tried. A lot of people in this life don't try and pursue something they're passionate about. They did. They had the guts to do it. That's something that I can't get over. They never stop trying.
And for my very last question, what would you say is the success of hosting the Special Olympics worldwide?
I mean, 2 decades ago, the Special Olympics wasn't nearly as big as it's been, and it's exploded. They have now backing from corporations. They have more media exposure, and in the age of social media, my God, you have so much marketing that you can do. Being involved in it and having it grow this much is just another aspect of the organization in general that's so fantastic. They're now reaching out and helping out so many people and being involved with so many other organizations to benefit these individuals, like I said, that have had difficult lives, and giving them just a moment of joy.